the Our American Stories podcast. The massive trade news yesterday, Max Crosby trade no more between the Raiders and the Ravens. The Ravens failed him on his physical. They turned to superstar pass rusher Trey Hendrickson on a 4-year, $112 million deal. Kevin Byard, the NFL's interception leader in 2025, is headed to the New England Patriots on a 1-year, $9 million deal. And Daniel Jones headed back to the Colts on a 2-year, $88 million contract. Plus, the Lake Show got a big win last night over the Minnesota Timberwolves, 120-106. They'll be back tomorrow taking on the Bulls in LA. On the next Our American Stories podcast, they'll tell the tale of family affairs star Brian Key's service and sacrifice. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
On a Wednesday, what's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over then a day before the San Diego State Aztecs head out to Las Vegas to take on presumably Colorado State, potentially Fresno State in the Mountain West tournament. It gets going tomorrow night. 5 o'clock pregame with yours truly. I actually think I'm starting pregame at like 3:30 tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And we'll be going all the way till the tip-off starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, where John Schaefer will be out in Las Vegas. Lots going on today. I feel like I've lived about 3 lives today, but we're here. We're happy. We're for the next 2 hours locked in to San Diego Sports Talk here on San Diego Sports 760. I did spend some time this morning at the Elephant Valley, at the Safari Park, brand new Elephant Valley up in Escondido. Freaking awesome, man. Turns out elephants a lot bigger in person than they are in pictures. These things are massive. Very, very cool. You got to check it out. It's like 8 acres of land dedicated to elephants. They're pretty impressive animals, man. We did our show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch out there this morning. You can check my Instagram story for the fit. Sammy, I was safaried out. I was looking good.
I saw that.
Oh, girl. I don't know that a better picture's ever been taken of anyone ever, probably.
You didn't ride an elephant though, like you said.
No, I wanted to. They're pretty far away. We were on the other side of the water, so I was hoping one of them would go splish splash, and then I could maybe jump into the water, do a little cannonball, maybe surprise him a little bit to the point where he would lean back so I could jump up and attach myself.
I'm glad that didn't happen, because then there probably would have been an animal cruelty suit that would have happened had you jumped on.
Is that a fat joke? I think that's a fat joke.
It's up for interpretation.
That's a fat joke. And you know what? We don't body shame, Sammy, on San Diego Sports 760.
We don't body shame until you start jumping on other animals where it could change the way their back is shaped.
We would never unit shame. We don't fat shame. We don't do any of that. Okay? This is San Diego Sports 760. It's a very welcome and opening environment, unless your name is Mark DeRosa of Team USA Baseball, in which case you could get the hell out. So I don't know if everyone's caught up to speed. Team USA lost to Italy last night in the World Baseball Classic. Look, I'm a proud Italian American. I have deep Italian roots. My grandmother was first generation American, and I love Italy more than the next guy, probably. However, when it comes to baseball,
I genuinely did not know you were Italian.
Yeah, my grandma's last name is Passadori. Her dad lived in Italy and came over. So yes, Italian through and through. That's how I know how to make Alfredo so good. But when it comes to baseball, Italians are not necessarily known for it. And when it comes to Team USA, they were massive favorites against Team Italy, because they should have been massive favorites against Team Italy. It was literally an all-star team of Major League Baseball players playing against a college team in Italy. And Team USA loses. Some say it's the biggest upset in the history of the World Baseball Classic. I would tend to agree, because I don't have the other ones up in front of me. But the story of today is the fact that the internet sleuths have gone back and done their job and saw that yesterday morning, hours before the game took place, Mark DeRosa, who is the manager, the head coach of Team USA Baseball, was on his TV show along with Harold Reynolds and Matty Vescursion. Matt Vescursion, friend of the show, great San Diegan. We love Matt. But he was on that show saying that we've already punched our tickets to the quarterfinals, but we're still going to try to win tonight. So, of course, the internet does what the internet does and just assumes that Mark DeRosa didn't misspeak, meant that full heart and soul, and went into that game knowing they didn't have to win. Of course, we know now they did have to win that game, and there's a potential that Team USA is going to be knocked out of the World Baseball Classic before the World Baseball Classic even really gets going. They were the favorite, the overwhelming favorite to win the whole thing this year. I don't know where I stand on it, to be truthfully. I know Mark DeRosa after the game said, yeah, I misspoke when I was on TV this morning. Big deal. Well, you were making decisions in the game as if you didn't have to win. And that's kind of sickening to me, because even if you didn't have to win that game, it's kind of inexcusable for Team USA to go out with that much more talent and lay a complete egg against Italy. This wasn't Mexico. This wasn't Japan. It was Italy. I don't know, Sammy. That pissed me off a lot last night.
Well, it was really embarrassing. And I mean, you heading into the tournament, the one thing that you would criticize the U.S. roster for is they went very young. They went Peaker Armstrong.
He was great.
Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt. PCA had 2 home runs, the grand slam, the one in the 9th. And think of the 2 stars that didn't come through. Bryce Harper was pinch hit for in the 8th.
Oh, Aaron Judge needs to be, I don't know what today.
I mean, Bryce Harper doesn't come through. Aaron Judge, they get someone on. I forgot who got on for him. I believe it was Bryce Terang. Might have been someone else. And he doesn't come through and strikes out. I mean, that's a pretty bad look. I guess it adds some drama to the WBC, because I feel like the WBC has lacked. Actually, it hasn't lacked drama, but it needed some drama, because I think the WBC is for kind of hardcore baseball fans. Certainly doesn't have the appeal of the Olympics or something like that. And yeah, pretty pathetic from the team, not going to lie. And the manager not to know that you hadn't clinched already is allegedly, but I mean, it's pretty embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing.
He was coaching as if they had already clinched. The fact that they had Kershaw warming up late in that game and not Mason Miller, that's coaching as if you've already clinched. And I don't really understand it fully. So here's the scenarios for Team USA. They can still go to the quarterfinals. This could all be a footnote, and we could laugh about weeks later when they beat Team Japan in the finals or whatever they end up doing. But Team USA moves on if Italy beats Mexico later today. Italy would win the pool at 4-0. Team USA would finish at second at 3-1, but they beat Mexico, who would end up 2-2. Team USA advances if Mexico beats Italy and Mexico scores 5 or more runs over 9 innings of play. All 3 teams would finish 3-1. Mexico and Team USA would advance on the tiebreaker. Team USA is eliminated and out. And by the way, I do think Mexico is going to beat Italy today, because Mexico should beat Italy today, just like Team USA should have beat Italy last night. If Mexico beats Italy and scores 4 or fewer runs in 9 innings, all 3 teams would finish 3-1. Mexico and Italy would then advance on the tiebreaker. So what you're rooting for, if you're rooting for Team USA, is that either Mexico just wins or Italy wins this game straight out. I wouldn't count on that. I really wouldn't. Or you're rooting for Mexico to win and to win by a ton. That's what you're rooting for.
I mean, Marinaccio, the former Padres pitcher who played in 7 games for the Padres last year, was in the 8th inning and is coming in getting big outs. I mean, this is pretty bad. In the WBC, if they don't get out of the group, I mean, you're not even talking about, it's one thing. It's embarrassing to lose in the championship, considering baseball is an American sport and the most stars, the biggest collection of stars are on Team USA.
Right. But if you lose to the DR, if you lose to Japan, whatever.
Right. At least people are going to go, that's Major League Baseball talent. You don't get out of the group. I mean, this is like 2004 Olympics basketball, Team USA bad. I mean, this is pretty embarrassing. And the fact that Team USA has to sit and watch a game between Mexico and Italy tonight and hope that the final score comes out the way that they needed to, whether Italy wins or Mexico destroys them. Yeah, pretty unexcusable and pretty bad look for the team that this is even a topic of conversation.
Who's going to admit it from the team? Who's going to admit that they didn't know, that they didn't already advance to the
619 said DeRosa played Goldschmidt and sat Harper.
I know.
WTF to then pinch hit Harper in the 8th, which he didn't come through at.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's going to admit from this team that they didn't know that they were going to advance to the quarterfinals? That's what we would need, because DeRosa's already denied it. DeRosa's like, oh yeah, I misspoke this morning when I was on TV. That was 9:45 in the morning. I was just waking up. Yeah, sure. Who's going to admit it?
I mean, it's even more embarrassing when you have Bryce Harper before the tournament talking about how Olympics baseball is much more interesting than the WBC. The whole speech from Aaron Judge before the season about or before the tournament about how we're going to build off the USA team, winning in hockey over Canada. I mean, wow, just kind of at a loss for words.
It was soft yesterday. It was absolutely soft. 913 texting in and says Lou Penrose is going to be gloating on Italy today. Yikes. Yeah, Lou Penrose, big time Italian. All right, let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 1. I did want to hit Bam Adebayo's 83-point night in the Open. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But Sammy, go ahead, smash it. Let's get this thing going.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
I mean, coworkers?
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
619, shame on DeRosa letting Italy take all those cappuccino shots in the dugout. WTF, I agree, man. Oh, dude, a little cappuccino would be so nice right now, Sammy. 913, Ben, that's a lot of poop. It's like one elephant poops as much as a rich, 300 pounds. Yeah, we learned a lot about elephants this morning. Lots of poop.
Yeah, I do not envy the people that clean that up.
I met the guy that cleans it up. Really nice guy, Nick, over at the safari park.
I think you would have to be if you were cleaning up poop every day.
He's like, he's one of the leaders of the whole elephant exhibit. And I asked him, like, hey, who cleans all this up? And he's like, you're looking at him. Dude probably gets paid a pretty good salary.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. He's literally doing the dirty work.
Each one of these piles, Sammy, I'm not even kidding. I'm trying to make it's like a size of a car tire. It's crazy. Elephants are
rest
wild.
in peace to anyone on their lunch break. Yes, we will be getting to the Max Crosby. Obviously, the trade no more. We're going to do a whole segment on that coming up here in a few minutes. But let's get to the kind of fringe topics. Bam Adebayo, 83 points yesterday, breaks Kobe's record, which was set against the Raptors when he had 81. Now, this did come on 43 free throws. So a lot of people have criticized the Bam Adebayo 83-point performance from yesterday against the Wizards as maybe not, quote, legit, not the same as Kobe's. Obviously didn't hit Wilt with the 100. What's your initial reaction to Bam Adebayo's 83 points?
Now, he made 36 of those free throws, so 36 out of 43, I think, was his final number.
36 out of 40. He took 43 attempts, yeah.
So I'm wildly impressed by Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points. I know that it's kind of the fun thing to hate on it today, and I'm fine with that. I love Kobe as much as the next guy. Kobe was my favorite player growing up. But like Bam Adebayo scored 83 points. I don't care who it was against. I don't care that it was a bunch of 20-year-olds for Washington that he was playing against. I don't care that it's one of the tanking teams in the NBA. You are playing against some of the most elite basketball players on the planet, the top 1% of the 1%, to quote Bernie Sanders, and he dropped 83 on him. No matter what way you slice it, it's impressive. I think that was an incredible night for Bam Adebayo. I think it's a good night for basketball, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, Is it the same as Kobe's night? No, because Kobe did play a Raptor team that, although it wasn't the Raptors, had Jalen Rose on it. I mean, there's a lot more talent on that team.
However, you know what happened in the last 5 minutes of that game? Lakers already had it in hand. They were up 15 with like 5 minutes to go. Kobe still scored another 12 or 13 points after that.
Right. But Bam Adebayo, the Wizards are one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst team in basketball. That's not to take anything away from him. 83 points is exceptional. I think people are blowing the free throw numbers at 43 out of proportion a little bit. He's a big, so obviously he's not Kobe taking shots from the 3-point line left and right. He was going to work down low. The fact that this came on 43 field goals, he made 20 of 43. I mean, it's extremely impressive. I know a lot of people are kind of taking it with a grain of salt. It is kind of funny. It was a random Tuesday night in the NBA season against the Wizards, but anyone who scores 83 points, I don't care. That deserves to be celebrated. The real question is someday, can someone get the 100?
I doubt it. I doubt it the way basketball is played now, although
I feel like the way basketball's played now is more accessible to get the 100.
Right. What would the final score have to be if someone's going to go out there and score 100, though? Like, that was 150 last night. That's a ton of points. Can it get up to 175 so one guy could have 100 of them?
Obviously, if it goes to overtime, you have chances. But Wilt's so hard because, he was just a foot taller than everyone.
Right.
So,
what's next, Sammy?
All right, let's go to Daniel Jones. Signs a 2-year, $88 million contract to return to the Indianapolis Colts. Do you like this for Indianapolis?
They must really like what he did the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season. Look, I thought Daniel Jones had his best season, although marred by injury at the end. Daniel Jones was playing on, was it a torn ligament in his knee, or was it just a fracture in his knee? I can't remember. And that was impressive. I think Daniel Jones and the Colts fell in love with each other a little bit this year. $44 million. I don't care if it's a 2-year deal. 44 per year is way too much money for Daniel Jones. And if that number was closer to what Malik Willis just signed, I think I would love the contract. What was Malik, like $22 million a year? So half of this?
Malik Willis is a 3-year, $67.5 million.
So around $22 million a year. Basically half of what Daniel Jones is getting paid on an annual basis. I don't understand the 44. It feels like such an overpay to me. Anywhere else in the league, by the way, the Colts have 2 of these now on their roster. Anywhere else in the league, is someone paying more for Daniel Jones?
No, I don't get this at all. I mean, I'm not crushing the Colts because they need a quarterback, and it is such a short-term deal that where they're obviously not taking a quarterback this year because, again, we've touched on how thin the quarterback class is outside of Fernando Mendoza. So Daniel Jones this year, yeah, sure, fine. And I guess you can take a quarterback next year in the draft, but we're talking about Daniel Jones is good enough to win you 6, 7, 8 games, but is he having you in the playoff picture? I don't think so. They took the league by storm. They went 5-0. They also feasted on some pretty rough competition the first 4 weeks of the year. And then down the stretch, I mean, even before the injury, he was not very good. They were stacking up losses left and right. And it's easy to look good as a quarterback when Jonathan Taylor is playing at an MVP level right next to you. So I'm taking it a little bit with a grain of salt. I wouldn't have done this, but I guess because of the short-term level of the contract, it's not the end of the world.
All right, one more.
Yeah, let's go to the NFL is looking to add a game on Thanksgiving Eve. Thanksgiving Eve. Are you ready for football the day before Thanksgiving?
I might have a little bit of a childish take here, but everyone knows what I'm talking about with Thanksgiving Eve. It's a pretty big party night. It's kind of the
called
night.
Blackout Wednesday.
Yeah, that's the night where you go out with your friends you haven't seen in a long time. That's the night where everyone gets a little schwasty. That would be the only downside to having an NFL game that night. Other than that, I've been very open about this in the past. I don't care if you put an NFL game on every day of the week during NFL season. I'm fine with it. More NFL, better. However, I do like the night before Thanksgiving Eve because oftentimes naughty things happen the night before Thanksgiving.
Ooh, what's happening in the Fletcher household?
Just hammered, drunk belligerency, Sammy.
More NFL is great. I mean, people can complain. People complain when they put it on Christmas. People complain when they started putting games on Saturdays after the college football season, and yet everyone still tunes in. People complain when the Dolphins-Chiefs playoff game was on Peacock, and they had to get streaming services, and Thursday Night Football went to Amazon Prime. Everyone wants to complain, and yet they still watch. So really, the NFL can kind of do whatever the hell it wants. And if the question is if people have a problem with this, I'll be tuning in. I'll 100% be tuning in.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a massive audience. So
I'll be at a sports bar.
Exactly. More football, the better. So I'm kind of surprised some of the backlash that this is getting today from people like, oh, no, don't put it the day before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day games, the Cowboy game, draws the second biggest ratings to the Super Bowl. So it's going to do huge numbers.
More football is always a good thing. It's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. On the other side, let's dig a little deeper into this Bam Adebayo night. 760 has big thoughts about it. We'll get to them coming up next, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over then. We got a busy one coming up. We got a 4-pack of tickets for the brand new Elephant Valley at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. I was checking it out this morning, man. It was pretty cool. Not very many people get to do this, watch the sunrise over Elephant Valley in San Diego because the park's not open yet. And it was kind of a humbling experience watching these freaking giants walk out of their cave this morning because they sleep standing up. So they were just kind of asleep when we got there. And then as the morning started and the trainers came out to feed them, they were all waking up at the same time. Pretty badass morning from 115 KGB. Check it out on our Instagram story. All right, Sammy, before we get too much further, I do want to get into the Max Crosby deal. We're going to save it for the other side. I want to stick with this Bam Adebayo thing for just a second because we got this text from the 760 saying, hey guys, not sure if you saw the last few minutes of the Miami Heat game, but it was an abomination. 83 is impressive, but the Heat were intentionally fouling to stop the clock and give the Heat/Bam more possessions than they would have gotten in a normal hoops game. It was a joke. If you actually saw it, you know what I'm referring to.
Keyshawn Johnson, the former Aztec, threw a free throw off the rim to try to get an offensive rebound to give it to Bam.
Again, I'm kind of okay with it because in Wilt's game, similar things were happening. In Kobe's game, the Lakers had the game put away and they were trying to get every little bit out of Kobe Bryant to get him up to as high as he could possibly go.
That's not necessarily true though with the Laker game. The Lakers were actually down 20 points in the third quarter.
But they were up 15 with like 4 minutes left.
Right. But Kobe brought them back in the game. So I think we can celebrate what Bam did and give him kudos because to the point you made earlier, anytime someone scores 83 points, that's a huge night. And I don't care if it's against the Wizards or against Oklahoma City. That's impressive in an NBA game against professional athletes, professional NBA players to score 83 points. But we take it in context. I mean, Kobe is being guarded by Jalen Rose, who's one of the elite players in basketball. They were down 20 points for a large portion of that game. They come back and win. And we're talking about Bam Adebayo. It was a little crazy when we're seeing intentional missed free throws. Like, I get the Heat trying to give him the ball because they had the game put away. And it's like, might as well see if he can get the record. But intentionally missing free throws, intentionally fouling to keep the clock going was a little like, I get it. You want to do it. I guess if I was his teammate, I'd probably do the same thing. But when we're talking about, is this the single greatest, offensive output performance we've ever seen? No, because the context of who they played and the end of the game needs to be taken into account.
Not for nothing. When Kobe scored 81 against the Raptors, if we're doing the comparing thing today, which it feels like we are, the Raptors were 14-27 when that game happened.
Which is true.
So it's not like he was playing against world beaters, much like Bam last night was not playing against world beaters. He was playing against a tanking Washington Wizards team. I think where I get off on it is a Major League Baseball pitcher is throwing a perfect game. Don't you think the strike zone gets a little bit wider from the officials?
Definitely. And that's fair.
So I think anytime something big is happening, everybody can acknowledge it in the room. And maybe there were even players on the Wizards who were like, oh, this dude's cooking right now. Let's get him up.
I don't have a problem with Miami players trying to get Bam the ball. That I don't have a problem with. That makes sense. It's like when Kershaw was going for his strikeouts. Everyone was they were leaving him in the game. Dave Roberts was leaving him in the game to try to make sure he got it because everyone bought a ticket to see that. But when you're intentionally fouling,
it's a little ridiculous.
Up 20 against the Wizards to try to make him get the record was a little. It was a little gimmicky, and it needs to be taken into the context of when he scores 83 points.
Also, do you think in 2026 we're a little happier to tear something down?
Which is, again,
it does feel that way. It's like something big happens. Look, I'm the worst at this. Like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are adorable, admittedly adorable. I hate their relationship, and I think it's just part of the fact that we're in 2026 and we want to tear something down.
Maybe you need to look at that with a therapist.
I can be honest about that. It's a flaw. I can be honest about that.
I understand people wanting to tear down the performance of Bam Adebayo. We do live in a world where it's easy to hate on things. People hate success.
But I heard Bam talk after the game. He was with Asia Wilson. It sounded adorable. It sounded sweet.
Well, something about that. It's just we can celebrate Bam's performance with it in context. Because if we start hearing about this is the greatest because he beat Kobe's number, but there's always a caveat because he scored the 100, but he was so much taller than everyone in the league back then. If you're comparing the performances, Kobe's performance was much better than Bam's last night.
Let's see it get done in the postseason. What did Hartman say the day after Kobe's performance? That's what I want to know.
619, Jalen Rose, elite.
ball hog Kobe. That's probably what Hartman said.
Just when I said Jalen Rose wasn't elite, Jalen Rose is a much better player than anyone the Wizards have.
Oh yeah, it's Jalen Rose does not equal.
I mean, you tell me Keyshawn George is a better player than Jalen Rose?
Did you see the ages of the starting lineup for the Wizards last night? It was younger than most college teams in the country. It was younger than most. It was like 20, 21, 21, 19, 20. I think that was the ages.
Right, because AD's not playing and Trae Young came back last week. But yeah, they were 100% trying to tank.
All right, we got a bunch of texts that we got to get to throughout the show today, but we're staying on time today, Sammy. We're gonna use our clock to our advantage.
Using our clock.
It's San Diego Sports 760. When we come back, the Max Crosby trade fell through. What do we know about it? What do we think about the future for Max Crosby? And how much better did the Ravens get because of it? We'll tell you on the other side. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by Allstate. Max Crosby heading back to the Raiders after the Ravens failed his physical. 2 first-round picks going back to the Ravens. The Ravens counteract that with Trey Hendrickson signing a 4-year, $112 million deal. Daniel Jones also headed back to the Indianapolis Colts on a 2-year, $88 million deal. The NBA last night, and Bam Adebayo broke Kobe's record of 81 points against the Raptors. He had 83 against the Washington Wizards, and the Lake Show stacking a couple wins back to back here. Lakers beat up on the Timberwolves 120-106. Lakers moving up the Western Conference standings, currently at number 4, right behind the Rockets. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over then. We got those Elephant Valley tickets for you coming up very, very soon. All right, let's get to the NFL. Can't believe we haven't really talked about it yet, but kind of shocking. Yesterday afternoon, I think we all were envisioning Max Crosby wearing purple next year. He's going to be back in the silver and black, most likely.
Unless you were the Ravens since Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Unless Chicago comes calling and is also offering 2 first-round picks. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be another landing spot for Max Crosby. Most likely, I would say he's back with the Raiders. And it's weird. If you heard his post-Raider career press conference, whatever it was, when he was found out that he was going to Baltimore, he basically talked about how much he loves being a Raider and how he would love to come back and retire as a Raider, and how when that day comes where he does retire, it's going to be wearing the silver and black. So maybe the Ravens got cold feet. Maybe the Ravens got him in the door and said, hey, dude, you're not fully recovered from your injury from last year. This is a bad deal for us. You're not worth 2 first-round picks. Or maybe they said, I like two first-round picks and would like to keep 2 first-round picks. And so we'll never know the truth. And this is what's crazy about the legal tampering window, is that's what it is. Nothing becomes official until later today. So the Ravens send him back to Las Vegas, and he'll probably be a Raider next year. And then here's where you give the Ravens a ton of credit. They didn't dwell on the mistake or dwell on the fact that this all just happened. They turned right around and signed maybe the best free agent of the entire offseason in Trey Hendrickson, the excellent edge rusher who's staying in the AFC North. And instead of hunting down Lamar Jackson, we'll be hunting down the other quarterbacks in the AFC North. Fascinating 24 to 48 hours for the Baltimore Ravens, who I do think now are probably in a better position today, keeping the 2 first-round picks and just $114 million poorer because they signed Trey Hendrickson. I think the Ravens are better off.
Diana Rossini tweets, it's been made clear by multiple people around the NFL at all levels that Baltimore had all the information and understood where Max Crosby's knee was in terms of the recovery timeline. Many in the league believe GM Eric DeCosta and the Ravens ultimately got cold feet. The Ravens made out like bandits. They realized 100% that although Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson is 31 years old, Max Crosby's 28, you would ideally take Max Crosby. But 2 first-round picks is a lot, and this team still has holes. I mean, you're looking at them trying to get A.J. Brown. That's now back into the picture with the first-round picks. You weren't going to be able to land A.J. Brown had you not had your first. And the Ravens need a number 1 receiver. I mean, this has kind of been the problem for the Ravens for years, is that Lamar has never had a number 1. I mean, his best receiver he's ever had might be Rashad Bateman. They drafted Hollywood Brown. That didn't work out. They got DeAndre Hopkins way past his prime. I mean, the Ravens, I find it hard to believe the Ravens didn't know what they were doing.
They probably did. I will throw out an alternate scenario that's not being talked about right now. What if the Ravens didn't think they could get Trey Hendrickson? What if they wanted Trey Hendrickson the whole time? And what if they thought that he, based on conversations they either had with him or his agent, he wanted to go elsewhere and he was going to sign a deal with the Chargers or the Cowboys or the other teams we heard that were interested in Trey Hendrickson, because we didn't really hear about the Ravens with Trey Hendrickson. So what if they thought they were already out of that picture? He wants to go elsewhere. And so then they found out, oh, wait, you would come play with us? We just sent off 2 first-round picks to get essentially a younger version of you.
They're claiming that they were trying to get them both. That's what they're claiming. This is, how do you investigate this? This happened in the NBA last year on a way less scale. When the Lakers traded Dalton Knecht for Mark Williams, they got panned for the trade. People were like, you gave up way too much for a talented center with an injury history. Then all of a sudden the Lakers failed Mark Williams on the physical, sent him back. The Lakers had never answered any questions about that whatsoever. And now the Ravens, all of a sudden they fail the physical. And yeah, Trey Hendrickson, along with 2 first-round picks, is much better than Max Crosby with no 2 picks. So I'm just curious where this leaves the Raiders. All reports are that they're getting calls, like the Cowboys, the Bears, all these teams are back interested.
Yeah, but are you going to get 2 first-round picks?
No, because they're going to say the same thing. They're going to go.
The Cowboys we're in this situation, and they said 2 first-round picks is too rich for our blood. We're not going to do that. So I don't know if it's going to happen. I would say the other thing, the Ravens didn't do anything wrong. Nothing becomes official until today. They are well within their rights to say, yeah, nope, we don't like this deal anymore. Bye. The only thing they did wrong was announce it and be excited about it and talk about it.
I think it's wrong that they're failing a physical in terms of this instead of just backing out of a deal.
But it's absolutely possible he did fail the physical.
Right, but when you fail a physical, it's completely up to the team doctors. It's not that Max Crosby is not going to be playing in the NFL anymore. It's that the Ravens didn't like what they saw. And the only way to change this is to have neutral doctors that are affiliated with the NFL that aren't affiliated with teams, because every team has their own set of doctors. If there was a group of doctors that purely work for the NFL that did the evaluations and everyone could see them in the NFL, you would avoid this, because the team doctors are working for the Ravens. So if the Ravens say he's failing his physical, he's failing his physical.
Right. But just to put this in perspective, he had surgery 3 months ago on that knee. He had surgery 3 months ago to repair the torn meniscus that he suffered last year. He had that surgery in January of 2026. So it is entirely possible that, to Diana Rossini's point with that tweet, they had all the information they needed on Max Crosby, but they may not have had their doctors look at Max Crosby until the team physical. And so I know that it's going to be the popular thing to say, oh, the Ravens totally screwed the Raiders in this. What if he got there and the Ravens team doctors are like, yeah, this guy may not play till week 4 or 5. He's not going to be healthy till week 7. Like, that is entirely possible that happened.
It's possible. It's just, again, if he already had his surgery, it'd be one thing if Max Crosby was not getting a surgery and then they did an evaluation and then they're like, oh, you need to have surgery. This changes the asking price. They knew he had surgery. They knew he was.
That sounds familiar. Fernando Tatis Jr.
recovering from a knee injury and they back out. The team that's really screws, I mean, the Raiders still have, now they're not going to get the same value, but the Raiders built their entire free agency around the fact that Max Crosby will be gone. They can still afford Max Crosby, but how do they see him in the picture? Maybe he's back. The teams that this screws are the Chargers, the Cowboys, and the Bears.
Unless they go out and trade for Max Crosby.
But really the Chargers.
Get him for less than they were initially planning on.
Which the Cowboys could make out like bandits, but there's a reason why we were all sitting here questioning, why is Trey Hendrickson not signed when he's one of the best free agents on the market? And this was obviously why. So all these teams were not participating in free agency because they were trying to land Trey Hendrickson. Now Trey Hendrickson is going to Baltimore. And the Chargers are really screwed because the Cowboys, the Raiders have no problem trading the Cowboys or the Bears, the NFC. If you think that the Raiders are trading the Chargers, Max Crosby in their own division.
By the way, Max Crosby, who is a massive Raiders fan, to go along with the fact that he is a Raider, you think he'd go to the Chargers? The historic rival of the Raiders?
I mean, if they pay him enough money, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Do you think he stays?
I do. If there were betting odds, and I haven't seen them yet today on where Max Crosby's next step of football would be taken, I'm going to say it's with Las Vegas. And I don't think there was any ill will from him going out the door. He was like, that's 2 first-round picks. Who of course, I'm going to be traded for 2 first-round picks.
They were also giving him an opportunity to win.
Right. And so for Max Crosby, I would imagine it's going to be with the Raiders next year. And I don't think that's a bad thing for the Raiders. I think the Raiders roster today is much better than it was yesterday when they didn't have Max Crosby. I also think the Raiders, and I heard Colin talking about this earlier, and I'm trying not to. Colin had a good point in the fact that the Raiders are going to be so young for the next couple of years that having that one veteran leader in the room is probably not a terrible idea.
Well, I think the Raiders would welcome Max Crosby back with open arms because you signed Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. That's a pretty nice old front seven. Though if you're Max Crosby, even though the Raiders are young and probably going to have some fun times this season, they're still finishing 4th in that division. I mean, you're playing in a division.
Dark horse playoff team.
They're not making the playoffs. I know that's your favorite bet of the year.
Dark horse playoff team.
You don't believe that.
Las Vegas Raiders. Big moves on the offensive line.
You do not believe that.
I don't believe that as of right now, but there's a lot of time between now and the start of the season.
You think they're beating out the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos?
No, but it would be interesting to see how Fernando Mendoza does in year one. All right, we got to take a break here. Long shots on the other side. And we got Coach Kentera coming up in hour number 2. We'll talk some WBC, talk some Bam Adebayo, talk some Padres with the coach coming up in hour number 2. We also have a 4-pack of tickets to the Elephant Valley at San Diego Zoo Safari Park, which is magnificent. I was there this morning. So stay tuned. We'll give those away on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. 5 minutes from right now, your chance to win. Well, 7 minutes from right now, your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park to see the brand new Elephant Valley. All right, before we get to long shots, did want to make a quick mention. Don't know if we'll have time again in the show to do this. Right when I got home from work yesterday, before the World Baseball Classic game, I sat down on the couch, actually had J-Roof with me. We watched the new Netflix movie, blanking on the name of it, War Machine, with the guy that played Thad Castle.
You guys were just sitting on the couch watching.
Yeah, at like 2:15 in the afternoon. Watched the whole thing. It's only like an hour and 45 minutes. Not going to say it's a good movie. It is an entertaining movie. It's chaotic. It's corny as hell. It's wacky. I would put it like far, far, far below Fast and the Furious, but kind of fun. Lots of big explosions, lots of techno noises. Ending was very predictable and had a good time. Is that a good movie review? I give it like a 6 out of 10.
Sounds like we'll be taking a pass on that movie.
No, I mean, I'd watch it. It's worth watching. It's like an hour and 45 minutes long, and it's a big buff dude fighting a robot. It's kind of cool. And Dennis Quaid's in it. That's about all the positives I can say.
So, not a lot of positives.
There's like a big training montage, which I always like a good training montage, like in Rocky. Rocky kind of popularized that, and then it became a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Big training montage.
Did you motivate him before the gym?
Big training montage in this one, like lasts way too long, like 25-minute training montage that just did not stop.
The best training montage is Rocky 4 when he's out there in the wilderness and he's doing those like side by side leg raises.
Him and Ivan Drago.
Drago's getting the juice.
Like he's punching trees and stuff, and Ivan Drago has this whole lab. That was crazy.
Yeah, we're getting wilderness yoked.
I mean, that was almost as good as the training montage where Rocky and Apollo Creed ended up running on the beach together.
That was fantastic. Yeah. The boy's getting some early morning work in.
Which is almost as good as the Top Gun beach volleyball scene.
Oh, please.
With a bunch of oiled up.
Yeah, what are you, like 18-year-old girl?
Oiled up dudes just playing beach volleyball and chest bumping each other.
I know. And then I love how he's like, they're like chest bumping. They're like, making these noises. They hit the ball. And then he's like, I'm off to go meet my girl. So I'll be back later. Throw the shirt on, a little sandy.
And they're wearing jeans. No one ever questions that they're wearing jeans.
No one questions it because you gotta look good, you know?
You're at the beach.
I can't kill Tom Cruise because if I had those kind of abs, I would never have a shirt on either.
Yeah, that's probably fair. All right, Sammy, let's get to the long shots for today. How did we do last night? I haven't even checked.
I don't think we needed to talk about last night. Last night.
You didn't have Bam Adebayo scoring more than 80 points? Are you crazy?
My boy Francis Tiafoe unfortunately could not break Alexander Zverev. He picked up his serve to about 134 miles per hour. The Celtics and Spurs went over, and I thought Santa Clara and Gonzaga were going to go over. They unfortunately went under. So not a great night for long shots, but that only means we can only go up from here.
Sure. Our buddy Rich on YouTube saying that tennis match was far too quick yesterday. Sammy needs Alcaraz for his tennis picks.
Carlos is playing rude in a little bit.
Is blacklisted. We are not putting Alcaraz on.
Carlos is getting going here at about 145 today.
What's that stupid pitcher in Major League Baseball that you always Flaherty? You always put Flaherty on your lineup.
Jack Flaherty is blacklisted as well.
Blacklisted.
And Karl Anthony Towns.
Done.
And Andrew Nemhard.
Done. Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Say that me and his man.
With long shots.
Maybe you just want a tip from your friend, Sammy. Someone who wants the best for you, who wants to look out for you.
Okay.
Who wants to help you.
What's your tip?
You could add 49ers Super Bowl to your long shots today.
No.
And it would really increase the pay.
I take our people who tail my bets very seriously.
Do you care if I add it?
You add whatever you want.
Okay.
And you lost how much money? Like $1,500 on the Niners losing the Super Bowl last year?
No, I would have won like $4,000. I only lost
How much money did you have on bet slips for Brock Purdy and the boys?
More than I'm comfortable saying.
More than you're comfortable sharing.
I just kept adding to every time we would win a long shots, and you went on a tear for like 2 or 3 weeks where you were winning a ton. And so every time we had a winner, I would just take a little bit of that profit and just throw it on top of my Niners bet to win the Super Bowl.
Damn, Seattle really cost you the mortgage, huh?
Yeah, we're all right though. We'll do fine. At least you're on such a hot streak right now. I'm making all the money back.
First off, I've been fantastic except for last night. Listen.
When's the last time we won a bet?
We went 2 for 3. We hit 3 for 3 last week, 2 for 3 the other day. We're steering the ship into calmer waters.
Are we celebrating 2 for 3s now?
No. We were out at sea yesterday. We were a little lost, a little rocky, but guess what? The boat's coming back to the port.
Well, where are we going today?
We're going to the Perry-Bar Open.
And text line, are we fading Sammy today? What's the plan?
Text line never fades, Sammy.
Are we fading Sammy?
Text line 70470. Start your message with team. Let's ride. Text line. Perry-Bar Open. Okay, we're heading out to Palm Springs. If you haven't been tapped in the event, it's fantastic. Beautiful scenery out there. Jack Draper, Novak Djokovic. Now, Novak Djokovic, still number 3 ranked player in the world. Number 4, excuse me. He's fantastic, but again, can't crack he's trying to get that 25th elusive major. And everyone thought this year in the last major tournament at the Australian Open, it was his shot because he actually beat Jannik Sinner in the right before and ended up losing to Carlos Alcaraz in the final. But we're going with Jack Draper today. Jack Draper, 14th ranked player in the world, very talented Brit. At Indian Wells in 2023, he beat fellow Brits Dan Evans and Andy Murray to make it to the round of 16. He's had some unfortunate luck in some of the biggest events. He actually had to pull out in a match because of injury due to Carlos Alcaraz a couple times. He hasn't been able to beat the top, but I kind of feel like that was Novak's last stand. And I'm not saying I hope that. I'm a big Novak Djokovic fan. He doesn't have the same power on his serve he used to. Jack Draper has historically played well on the courts out at Indian Wells. Give me Jack Draper plus 116 on the money line to beat Novak Djokovic later on today.
I just hope Palm Springs has the appropriate beans on toast for Jack for breakfast.
Palm Springs has some fantastic food out there. Las Casuelas.
Do they have beans on toast?
No, because we eat real food out here in the States.
He's a British gentleman. He's going to need his beans on toast.
Jack Draper, number 14th ranked player in the world, plus 116, pulling the slight upset against Novak Djokovic later today. Powerful serve, Novak, talented player, but I think Jack Draper pulls this one off.
Can you give me a tennis grunt real quick, Sammy, to really punctuate that? Not your best. All right, what's next?
Well, you put me on the spot. It's performance anxiety, Fletch. Everyone has it, okay? All right. Okay. Everyone calm down.
What's next?
Timberwolves Clippers.
Okay.
7:30, Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, Lakers actually threw some junk in Anthony Edwards last night. What they were doing, which was working, they were playing a matchup zone where 4 to 5 players on the court were playing a zone. One was matched up on Anthony Edwards, and it was kind of giving him some fits. Marcus Smart was deployed on Anthony Edwards for a lot of the night. Even Austin Reeves held his own a little bit. The way that the Lakers were playing the matchup zone actually gave Anthony Edwards some massive problems. And outside of Dante DiVincenzo last night, no one could really hit shots against the Lakers. The Lakers defense completely came through in the second half, shut down the Minnesota Timberwolves offense in the third quarter. But tonight, they're getting some get back against the Clippers. I know Benedict Mathurin, Kawhi Leonard have been on a tear recently. Got Darius Garland, Kobe Saunders. The Clippers are playing good basketball. Beat up on the Knicks the other night, but Minnesota had a really bad shooting night, and the Lakers defense was able to kind of throw some junk at them all night long. I think they get some get back. Anthony Edwards had 4 points through the first quarter half last night. That is not going to happen again. I think Anthony Edwards has a big performance. Julius Randle, I don't think the Clippers personally have anyone to guard Julius Randle in this game. He's going to be a big mismatch for them. Give me Minnesota plus 1.5 to go into the Intuit Dome and get a big win. All right, Rockets Nuggets, 7:00 on ESPN.
Sorry, Sammy, what was the Minnesota Clippers pick?
Minnesota plus 1.5.
Okay.
On the road, taking on the Clippers. A little bounce back after the loss to the Lakers last night. Houston, Denver. Give me the Rockets plus 7.5. Now, I know the Rockets play very bipolar basketball. It's very hard to get a read on them. Sometimes they look like a championship contender. Sometimes they look like they can't play the game of basketball. The big problem for them this year, they lost Fred VanVleet, their point guard, before the season. Steven Adams also has gotten hurt, is out for the year, has lost some of their front court depth. But they need a signature win. And they got the Lakers twice next week. The Lakers beating up on Minnesota. They're moving up in the standings. And Denver is very flawed. They beat the Lakers. They get blown out by the Knicks. It feels like they lose a heartbreaker the other night against Oklahoma City. But plus 7.5, I like that number. That's too big of a number. I think this game could go either way tonight. I know Dorian Finney-Smith is out with rest, but Peyton Watson is also out for the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray is probable, but still dealing with an ankle injury. And Cam Johnson is probable. Both teams average a high number of points. Nuggets average 120 points per game. The Rockets around 115, but they also play a much better brand of defense, holding the opposition to 110 a game, while the Nuggets check in, allowing 117 points per game. So give me the Rockets plus 7.5 on the road. I think that they're able to keep this game close and maybe pull the outright upset. So to recap, Jack Draper getting the money line win over Novak Djokovic later today at Indian Wells. Nab that at plus 116. Give me Minnesota plus 1.5 against the Clippers. Bounce back game for the T-Wolves tonight. And I also like the Rockets covering plus 7.5 on the road in the Mile High City.
No performance anxiety there. That was
no performance issues from the boys.
Full go. All right, if you want a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park to see the brand new Elephant Valley, right now is the time to call 877-767-4760. Win a family 4-pack of tickets to go see Elephant Valley. The elephants aren't the only ones who will never forget Elephant Valley at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. It's magnificent. I was there this morning. Pretty awesome place, man. If you want to go, 4-pack of tickets on the line right now. Sammy, what caller number you want to give these away to?
Let's see. We got a lot of callers. Let's do caller 15.
15. How about it? Coach Kentera coming up in hour number 2, plus plenty more fun to be had. Plus news out of the NFL just came down. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by the Taking a Walk podcast. Breaking news out of the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals have officially released quarterback Kyler Murray per Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero. The Vikings are the favorites to land the former number 1 overall pick. Kirk Cousins officially became a free agent today, and Kevin Byard signs a 1-year, $9 million deal to land with the New England Patriots. Also this morning, Trey Hendrickson signs a 4-year, $112 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens after the Max Crosby deal was no more after last night. Step into the world of music with Buzz Knight's Taking a Walk podcast. Each week, Buzz brings you up-close conversations with new and legendary musicians for one of the best music interview podcasts. Listen to Taking a Walk on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for about another hour here. We'll get you up to John Schaefer, who will take you home the rest of the way. John Schaefer is going to have a busy couple of days here. Hopefully a busy 3 straight days out in Las Vegas as San Diego State tips off the Mountain West Conference Tournament tomorrow in Las Vegas. Pregame coverage tomorrow probably gets going around 3:30. So I'm doing the second half of John's show. Sammy's leaving me high and dry and going to spring training, which I get. I'm also going to be doing that very, very soon here. So tomorrow, I think I'm getting back on the air at 3:30 tomorrow. So we'll do normal show from noon to 2. Rich Ornberger is going to stop by for a little bit. And then in lieu of John Schaefer, I will be doing 3:30 all the way up till Aztecs tip off at 6 o'clock. So jump on in, boys. We got a lot of Aztecs to talk tomorrow, which is convenient because today we do need to talk a lot of NFL because things are happening all over the National Football League. So a couple of expected moves. We expected Kirk Cousins to be released by the start of the league year. Today was the last day for them to do so before paying any guaranteed money for next year. Kyler Murray, I did think a deal might get done to trade Kyler Murray somewhere. The Cardinals were not able to find one that was suitable to them, so they are releasing him today, and that became official, 5 minutes ago here, as we're going throughout the day. So Kyler Murray released. Vikings planning on signing him. I think that's a good spot for Kyler to go. I think that's a good option for the Vikings to go at quarterback after a disappointing season last year. Now, I think the question coming off of Kyler Murray is it even a competition between him and JJ McCarthy? Or does Kyler Murray, based on what we know about him, what we've seen from him the last few years, is Kyler Murray automatically the starter in Minnesota if they do end up signing him?
Well, I think it's a good question.
I had a hard time with this one too. I was thinking about it a little bit last night when we kind of saw this all starting to come together.
It's going to be it's going to be in a quote open quarterback competition.
Right. But right now I would almost have to give the edge to Kyler Murray.
Yeah, because what has JJ shown you that he's the franchise quarterback? And I think this really comes down to the NBA players have so much power and star quarterbacks have so much power in the NFL. I think you're going to Justin Jefferson, and you got to give Justin Jefferson a lot of credit.
Tons. He is not AJ Brown this situation whatsoever.
I mean, AJ Brown's complained, Tyreek Hill's complained. We've seen receivers over the years complain, and yet he's had to deal with Kirk Cousins. Got him good stats, but Kirk Cousins, they let Sam Darnold go, and then all of a sudden you're dealing with JJ McCarthy. His stats took a direct hit. He was not the number 1 receiver, which I personally believe when Justin Jefferson is on, he's the best receiver in football, and kind of had to take a backseat because McCarthy couldn't get him the ball. I think it will be an open quarterback competition, and they're going to say that it's because a lot of jobs are tied. Maybe Kevin O'Connell's job is tied to how JJ McCarthy pans out if he can find something in him, because we have seen a lot of second-year quarterbacks take off. I'll remind people, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Drake May, especially Caleb Williams, people thought was a bust at the start of this year, and then all of a sudden it's now a franchise quarterback that people are excited about, which lead MVP odds for next season. So you can find something in second-year players.
You say Caleb Williams leads MVP odds.
He's one of the leaders for it. I believe he's one of the most bet tickets for MVP odds next year.
Sure, that doesn't mean he's one of the favorites.
He is one of the favorites.
Maybe like top 10.
So one of the favorites.
The USC homerism in you, Sammy. We need to get it out.
No, he's one of the favorites for MVP.
Okay.
Josh Allen's one of the favorites for MVP. Lamar Jackson.
Daniel Jones is one of the favorites by your category.
Daniel Jones is not one of the favorites for MVP.
Okay.
Anyway, on a different note.
I also think this is a great situation for Kyler Murray to go into. Is my biggest point on this, because what have we seen? What is the formula now from Baker Mayfield, from Sam Darnold, from Daniel Jones, who's one of the favorites to win MVP?
Daniel Jones is not a favorite to win MVP.
What we've seen is guys who struggle somewhere, and Kyler Murray went through it all in Arizona. He went through the team bashing him for Call of Duty, which is the first thing that pops up in our YouTube chat. We went through Arizona blaming him for some blatant wide receiver drops. We've gone through it all with Kyler Murray. Shots at his character, shots at his height, shots at his willingness to want to play football, whether he should have gone to be a baseball player or not. Kyler Murray has a chance to totally rebuild what we think of when we think of Kyler Murray, and he's going to a pretty great place to do it because automatically he walks through the door in Minnesota. A, best wide receiver room he's ever thrown to. B, most offensive-minded and probably best head coach he's ever gone to in Kevin O'Connell. I think this is such a winning situation for Kyler Murray. We could think completely different about him 2 years from now than we think about him right now.
And Kyler Murray, right, he's had such an odd career because the one thing is, usually when you hear stuff like, genuinely, he plays Call of Duty, he's lazy, he doesn't
watch film.
Doesn't watch film. Remember Arizona put the clause in the contract where he had to watch a certain number of hours of film. Usually you hear teammates come to the defense of a player. That doesn't happen with Kyler. So some of you starts to kind of question, is some of this real? Is some of this legit and not just made up BS? But I do think in that offense, I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, there is no reason why Kyler Murray is not a top 10 quarterback next year if he's throwing to those players. If the talent of Kyler Murray, which we've seen at times throughout his career, him be an ascending superstar player, and I think a little bit's on him. I think a little bit is on the Cardinals' inability to put an offensive line together and missing on some weapons over the years. I mean,
and missing on head coaching hires. Like, really.
Right.
That's
Jonathan
been the
Gannon.
biggest thing for me is Kyler Murray hasn't had stability once at the head coach position. And how many big offensive coordinators have we heard come out of Arizona? The answer is zero.
And when DeAndre Hopkins was in his prime and they got him, Kyler Murray had a career year.
Yeah, he was great. For a couple of years there, like Kyler Murray was in MVP conversations, probably what an MVP favorite, according to Sammy.
I don't know. He literally is Caleb Williams.
Well, I want to see what the number is. Let's get to the big three first. We'll look it up during commercial break. It's crazy. Crazy. San Diego Sports.
I wonder what Brock Purdy's MVP number is.
I don't know, but I already have $10 on it, so don't you worry about that.
That's a unit shame right there.
Let's get to the big three here of hour number 2. Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
Let's see here. Pulling up the MVP odds right now. Lamar Jackson 1, Josh Allen 2, Justin Herbert 3, Drake May 4, Caleb Williams 5.
So one of the favorites.
That is better than I thought. Joe Burrow 6, Patrick Mahomes 7. Oof, fall from grace.
Oh, I mean, look at the value. Look at the value.
Dak Prescott 8, Jordan Love 9, Matthew Stafford 10, Brock Purdy 11.
What's Dak Prescott's number?
If you were to put money on Dak Prescott right now, let me see. You would get 18 times your bet. So what is that, plus 1,800?
That's worth a little sprinkle.
It might be worth a little sprinkle.
Worth a little sprinkle. Dak Prescott, MVP odds next year.
Lamar Jackson being the outright favorite, and he's tied with Josh Allen, by the way. Pretty significant drop-off after those two guys. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable with either of them as my MVP pick right now.
Wow, you're saying something negative about Josh Allen? That's crazy.
I don't know that I'd be comfortable with either of them.
Please show some love to Josh Allen and respect, Fletch. I mean,
I do love Josh Allen.
I know you do. I know you love using Josh Allen.
I wish he was a 49er. All right, where are we going?
Let's stick with Kyler Murray. So let's say Kyler Murray goes to Minnesota. He is the starting quarterback for the full season. Where are they finishing in that division?
I think the Lions bounce back quite a bit. I do think the Bears maybe take a small step back a little bit because the Bears, we can talk. Caleb Williams had a great year, and I'm fine saying that. And Ben Johnson had an excellent year as a head coach. What have teams gotten now? An offseason to prepare for what the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams era will look like. They've also, Chicago, we can't have the conversation about the team without talking about all the turnovers that they forced, timely turnovers in games, huge moments, and competition may be falling back. Packers didn't have the year we expected. Lions definitely didn't have the year we expected. And maybe some of that's because of Chicago and what they were able to do in division games. And I'm fine with that. But I think Chicago takes a mini step back. Detroit takes a mini step forward. Vikings will take a massive step forward. I'm not ready to say it's going to be like 2 years ago when they won 14 games, but they're absolutely with Kyler Murray at quarterback in the conversation to 10, 10 would be my ceiling for them. If I was setting a number, it'd be 9.5.
I'm with you. I think the Lions should be the favorite to win the division. I think the Bears will still make the playoffs, but I am with you. I think there will be a step back. They feasted on a pretty easy schedule the first half of the season. It's not even a shot at Chicago. I think they're going to be a good team, but they're going to be playing better competition because they won the division.
And have we gotten a huge move from Chicago this offseason?
They've been a little quiet.
You would think they would want to add to the team and keep momentum rolling.
Drew Dahlman.
We haven't seen it yet.
Drew Dahlman retired the center. So there's some problems there, but I still think they're a playoff team. They did have a massive turnover differential. I think the Packers are set for a massive step back. You lose Romeo Doubs. You trade away Rashawn Gary. Look, I get it. You got Micah Parsons. Jordan Love can look really good at times. Christian Watson has had trouble staying healthy. Outside of Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, and Micah Parsons, I don't see it. I don't see it with the Packers. I feel like they kind of keep running the same team back every season. I think if Kyler starts the entire season with Brian Flores running the defense for Minnesota, I think they actually jump Green Bay. I think they finish third in the division. I think Green Bay is one of those teams that are due for some massive regression. All right, if the Raiders, let's go back to the trade. The trade no more. Raiders keeping Max Crosby. Ravens keeping their first round pick this year, first round pick next year. If you are the Raiders, would you look to trade Max Crosby again? And do you think they will come off the value of it? They're claiming they're holding to their 2 first round picks.
So that has to be part of this conversation. Like, you almost couldn't say no to the Ravens because of the value of the trade. And the Ravens absolutely overpaid, in my opinion. And I think that's because they kind of felt like their back was against the wall. They were either going to miss out on both Trey Hendrickson and Max Crosby or try to get one of them. And if it cost 2 first round picks, you needed to add to that defensive line. And so I think the Ravens maybe felt like they needed to up the price over the Cowboys because maybe the Raiders weren't interested in taking less than 2 first round picks for Max Crosby, who's been as good a Raider as we've had in the last 20 years. So I do look at the Raiders as wanting to hold on to Max Crosby, but if Chicago or Dallas ups their bet a little bit and does end up throwing maybe even a first and a second this year, I don't know what it would be, but if it gets slightly better than what they were offering the first time, maybe the Raiders still move on to it, but it has to almost be undeniable because I do know that everybody in that organization adores Max Crosby, and Max Crosby also adores that organization, and they're not going to screw him on the way out the door and send him someplace he doesn't want to go.
I feel like if you're the Raiders, it's fun to think about what Crosby could be with Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean. You won free agency. You were one of the big winners of the last couple of days. But I thought the whole point of the fact that why you were getting rid of Max Crosby was you kind of took some pressure off Fernando Mendoza. Max Crosby is in a win now mode, and trading him to somewhere like the Cowboys, like the Bears, like the Ravens before, you were letting him have a chance to win, stockpiling draft picks, and kind of letting Mendoza not have the pressure of trying to win this year in that stacked division with the Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers. I feel like although it'd be fun, I guess if you're a Raider fan, fun to have Max Crosby back and he's still an elite player. If you can nab what the Cowboys were offering at a first and a second, get him out of the conference, away from the Ravens, I think that would probably be the smart thing to do and kind of still build for the future, because I think that was a smart play for the Ravens to be building for the future, or the Raiders to be building for the future. And now with Crosby back, it feels like they might be, kind of going
even
back
with Crosby back, they are still one of the youngest teams in football. And I do think they're heading in the right direction. I think they're making a commitment to Kubiak where I don't know that they made the same commitment to Pete Carroll, where they can see Kubiak being there for the next 5 or 6 years. I like what the Raiders are doing.
But by the time that he's like 30, 31 and the Raiders are, quote, in contention a couple of years from now, he's past his prime.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right. Now, what about this other little story about the former Raider that's been bubbling? Have you been following this?
Little Derek Carr,
maybe unretiring, coming back. Now, this first came up, a week and a half ago? Some podcasters said it. Starting to get some juice. Saints still hold his rights. Could there be a trade looming for Derek Carr?
I guess it's just so Kyler goes to Minnesota.
Would you rather have Derek Carr next year or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because Derek Carr hasn't played in a year and a half.
Right, but Derek Carr's bad play his final season with the Saints was largely due to injury. That shoulder was messed up. If the shoulder's fixed, I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I don't see either quarterback as needle movers, but if it's a short-term fix. I mean, so the Jets have Geno now. Kyler looks like he's going to Minnesota. I guess the Cardinals could get one. The Cardinals signed Minshew. Minshew's not a starting quarterback. I mean, I guess maybe for the Cardinals.
I mean, would he not be an upgrade for the Saints? Wouldn't you rather have Derek Carr than Tyler Shucks?
I mean, Shucks played well down the stretch there. They won the final
Saints
6
fan.
games.
Is it an 858 number? Who's our Saints fan?
Yeah, Indy Drew.
Derek Carr or Tyler Shucks?
Tyler Shucks.
Really?
Because at least with Tyler Shucks, you may have something. Tyler Shucks was a good football player down the stretch of the season. Derek Carr's coming back so you can win 6 games and be picking a quarterback next year? I don't see that at all.
In Shucks, we trust. You got one more, Sammy, you want to squeeze in?
Yeah, I was going to say Scotty Scheffler is the favorite at the Players. He is an overwhelming favorite at plus 425. Rory McIlroy's coming in at 15-1 behind him. Are you surprised that Scotty is the overwhelming favorite when he hasn't even really played that well to start the PGA Tour season?
Not surprised because of the fact that nobody's really stepped up in his absence. Nobody's been dominant this year. Think about the names that have won tournaments recently. It's not like you have someone going out there and being incredible. Like Bhatia won the last one. It was him and Berger the whole way. Before that, it's just been kind of chaos.
Gotterup's been in the picture.
Got her up. Yeah, there's no one who's stepped up and clearly has been on fire to start this season like Scotty has the last couple, so he should be the favorite. And I would imagine for the next 5 or 6 tournaments, until someone catches that rhythm, it's going to be Scotty, Rory, favored 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's to the point there's not a single dominant player so far this season. But it is funny that Scotty, if you're looking at how he's played so far this season, if you're a gambler, I would wait after the first or second day and then bet Scotty because he has not shown that he has come out in these tournaments and played well. It's usually Saturday and Sunday where the best golfers come through, where he's made a run. So it is, I mean, who else is going to be a favorite over him? He's the best golfer in the world. But you do feel like with the way he's played this year, there could be some value in a Rory, in someone else, whoever you're buying.
What's crazy is his number after day 1, when he had struggled on day 1s this year, hasn't even been that good for top 10. Like a top 10 finish is a bet you can place in golf. And Scotty, after day 1, he's sometimes been tied in the low 60s. And his number to get back to the top 10 isn't even that much value for a bettor. His value to win the tournament is huge, but it's a Herculean effort to get all the way back. But he's been finishing in the top 10 even with bad starts. All right, San Diego Sports 760 coming up next. Very important question for one Sammy Long. He's going to squirm a little bit. I'm excited about this. Do we now have undeniable proof that the Lakers are better off without LeBron James? San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long.
It's taking
you.
a minute to get to the chorus.
Till 2:00 today. John Schaefer will take over then. Hey, the award show for fans is back. Give us some time to get to the chorus. It's the iHeartRadio Music Awards coming to San Diego Sports 760 and Fox on March 26th, the day before my birthday. That's also Padres opening day. If you want to be there in person, you can win a trip for $4 and $1,000 spending cash. Just listen to San Diego Sports 760 on the free iHeartRadio app. Tap the red microphone to leave us a talkback saying the keyword iHeart Awards, and you're entered. That's the coolest freaking giveaway we've ever done, dude. Open up the free iHeartRadio app. I'm just reading that for the first time. That's badass.
Open it up.
Dude, open that free iHeartRadio app. Tap us a little talkback for us and use the keyword iHeart Awards and then yell at Sammy for something. We'll play it back on air.
Yeah, we like when you yell at us.
It's San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. Text line was yelling at Sammy earlier for saying that Wilt was a foot taller than everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a fact. Like,
and then they had stats to back it up, Sammy. He was not a foot taller than everybody.
Well, like, yeah, in the dinosaur age, when you score 100 points, like it's
dinosaur age. How dare you? You know how disrespectful that is? That's ageism, Sammy.
I mean, it's 1962. Like
we do not age shame or unit shame or fat shame. And you've done all three of those on today's show.
No, I mean, no disrespect to Will, amazing player, Hall of Famer. But when we're talking about the development, the weight training, people in the league are so much more in much better shape. And you're trying to say you're going to tell me that Will 1962 had the most impressive performance? Get out of here.
It was 100 points, Sammy. It's pretty stinking cool. And he was only like 3 inches taller than everybody who he played against. Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
so not even close.
Throw him the ball down low.
Hey, the Mountain West tournament is up and going. In fact, I got the UNLV Wyoming game going on my secondary screen here in studio. UNLV winning 47-39. It's in the second half now, 15 minutes left or so. Air Force Nevada play later today. The game Aztec fans need to have circled. Fresno State playing against Colorado State. That game's at 6:00 tonight. I would highly recommend watching because whoever wins that game will be playing against San Diego State tomorrow. Coach Kentera coming up in about 5 minutes. Right now, we're going to squeeze it in. Lakers have won 3 straight. Luka Doncic is in the middle of a custody battle with his ex, and they are dominating. The only common denominator
in there for no reason.
It's something going on in his life. It's a big thing, I would imagine. That's distracting. Who's not on the court for the Lakers, Sammy?
LeBron James.
Are they better without him?
All I know is this. The Lakers are 10-2 when Luka and Reeves play without LeBron. They have beaten Minnesota 3 times. They've beaten San Antonio once, and they've beaten the Knicks. And there's been a lot made that Reeves and Luka cannot coexist as a backcourt because of their lack of defensive efficiencies. In the last 2 games against the Knicks and the Timberwolves, they played excellent defense. They held the Knicks under 100 points. They absolutely dismantled Anthony Edwards in the T-Wolves last night, holding them to 106. They usually average about 117 to 118 points per game. When LeBron is not on the floor, they're able to have another elite defender out there, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, wherever you want to go in that regard. And it's a double-edged sword because obviously if the Lakers want to, LeBron James being on the floor is a bonus for them because he's still a big time scorer, can take over games. He's a freight train coming down the middle, but because of his age, he can't play defense like he used to. And when you have these all offensive lineups of LeBron, Luka, Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton, and then throw in Rui Hachimura or Marcus Smart, there's no defense being played. So you can outscore teams, but you just can't play any defense. And you're seeing when Reeves or Luka are handling the ball at all times, whether they're both starting, but usually Reeves and Luka are subbing each other out. They have a playmaker on the floor, and you surround them with your Luke Kennards and your Jake LaRavias, and they've been having success against the elite competition.
What was the number again? Luka and Reeves on the court without LeBron?
10-2, and they've beaten 5 teams with over a 600 winning percentage. And with LeBron this year, the only team above 500 they've beat is the Raptors twice.
So you got Bulls coming up tomorrow night, and then home against the Nuggets on Saturday. LeBron due back for either of those 2 games?
I'm sure he'll be back for that Denver game. If the Denver game, if he comes back and they lose, there is going to be a lot of questions about whether the Lakers are better.
All right, let's do the J-Mac thing real quick. Tomorrow's headline today from Colin Cowherd. Monday, if the Lakers lose with LeBron on the court to the Nuggets, Lakers fans are saying what, Sammy?
Lakers fan is saying we can't wait for LeBron to be gone in the offseason. Again, I don't want to overreact because if the Lakers want to win playoff series, LeBron has to be there. But LeBron has to take a back seat to Reeves and Luka if they want to go far in the playoffs. Because if LeBron and Luka and Reeves,
let me throw this out there. What if LeBron just switches up his game plan a little bit, and instead of being the dominating offensive force, like you said, guess what? Lakers have offense. Luka's the most talented offensive player in basketball right now. Reeves is coming into his own. He looks great. What if LeBron takes the energy he would dedicate to offense and plays defense
and go to the basket? Luka and Reeves have the outside game covered.
It seems pretty simple to me.
I would let LeBron close games, and LeBron can get some minutes rested. If they lose on Saturday with LeBron, people are going to be, not necessarily fairly, calling for LeBron's head in Lakerland.
Coach Kentera coming up next. We'll talk some Lakers. We'll talk some Bam Adebayo. We'll talk some Team USA disappointment. And, of course, some Padres with the coach. That's next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by Udo.com. All your business apps in one place. Big news out of the NFL. Kyler Murray officially cut today by the Arizona Cardinals. The Minnesota Vikings, per Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero, are the favorites to sign him. Kirk Cousins also officially released as of a few minutes ago. And Bradley Chubb is on his way to the Buffalo Bills on a 3-year, $43.5 million deal, worth up to $52.5 million deal. That includes $29 million guaranteed. Your business deserves tools to make you feel in control, not overwhelmed. With Udo's all-in-one, easy-to-use platform, Everything is together so you can focus on what matters. Start at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over then. The privilege, the honor, the greatness of Coach Kentera is going to be jumping on the show right now. We'll talk a bunch of things with Coach. But, Coach, first of all, how are you? Great to hear from you. How's life?
Well, I'm doing great, Fletch. Another beautiful day in America's finest city, and just enjoying the day and looking forward to a little baseball and basketball tonight.
Yeah, it is a really nice day. I was actually up North County, your neck of the woods, Coach, in Escondido. I was out at the safari park this morning checking out the new Elephant Valley. That place is incredible. You got to get over there and check it out. It's kind of astonishing how big those elephants are.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that volunteers out there. She was telling me that it's absolutely fantastic. And, I'll tell you, this is probably the best time of year to go because, man, coming July and August, it's a little warm out there in the valley.
Yeah. All right, Coach. So let's get straight to it because, man, I got to tell you, I wasn't expecting to get super emotionally invested into the World Baseball Classic, and I really wasn't until yesterday, about 3 innings into the game when Team Italy was just kicking the crap out of Team USA. I was incredibly disappointed with Team USA's efforts in the game. I was incredibly disappointed with how the game was managed. I don't really know how I feel about it today, but man, last night watching, I was pretty ticked off watching Team USA's effort against Team Italy. Do you have any thoughts on that game?
Well, I got a lot of thoughts on Mark DeRosa. Yesterday morning he went on with our buddy Matty Vasgersian and Harold Reynolds after they beat Mexico and said, we've already punched our ticket to the next round. And they'd not punched their ticket to the next round. Now we got to sit around here tonight after they had a poor performance last night. And we got to hope that they can, one, Italy wins tonight over Mexico, or then the tiebreakers come into play. But for Mark DeRosa not to understand and not to be informed when you're the manager of the ball club, I talked about this on my podcast today. This is inexcusable. I'm sorry. It's totally inexcusable. You know everything about your ball club, about the situation. And he went on national TV yesterday where he's an MLB analyst and said they'd already punched their ticket. Now, of course, after the game last night, he backtracked and said he misspoke. But you know what? That's not an excuse. You got to know everything about your ball club. You got to know about all the tournament rules going in. After every game, you should be having somebody that's either a WBC representative or somebody from the U.S. that's letting him know exactly what's going on. But for him to go on yesterday morning prior to that game and said they had already punched their ticket, were the players aware of that? Did they know that game really didn't matter a whole lot last night? Well, it did matter. And after tonight, the United States may be packing up and heading home. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way the next time the WBC rolls around that Mark DeRosa is managing that ball club if I have anything to say about it.
What do you make, Coach, of, Fernando Tatis hits that grand slam a couple of days ago. Feels like he's playing excellent ball in the WBC. Do you think we're going to see a career year from him, or is this the product of them playing some subpar competition?
Well, first of all, the kid is extremely talented. We know that. I don't know if we're going to ever see him hit 42 home runs again like he did, a few years back. Last year he had 25 and hit 268. I hope he has a great year. I hope he has a healthy year. He's always, since he's been here, he's always been my favorite Padre, but he hasn't really lived up to this point what I thought he could be. For a variety of different reasons, whether it's the injuries early in his career, the change from shortstop, where I don't think he initially really accepted that very well and kind of pouted. Last year, he got off to a great start. We're all, the first 7 weeks last year, we're bumping chests and high-fiving, thinking he could be the National League most valuable player. Well, he wasn't anywhere close to being the most valuable player in the National League. He fell off drastically last year. But not only that, his attitude, his body language, he didn't look like he was mentally engaged night after night. And you got to play 162. It's hard. It's, it beats you up. You come into the clubhouse, your hamstrings are sore, and you got to pull your britches on and go out there and play. He's coming into the prime of his career right now, and he got to pick it up a little bit for me. Everybody's in love with him, but, I don't think we've seen the best of him. At least, I hope we haven't seen the best of him. But, the Padres, and to be honest with you, I think they've coddled some of their guys. They've coddled Machado. He kind of runs the ball club. They've coddled Tatis a little bit. Hey, if I'm paying guys big money, man, I'm going to hold them to a little bit higher standard. You don't talk about this with guys like Judge and Bryce Harper and Ohtani and Betts and Freeman. You never talk about these guys being moody or, whatever. But the Padre guys, they seem to have these little mood swings and it takes them off their game for a while.
All right, Coach. Coach Kentera joining us on San Diego Sports 760. Getting off baseball, looking at what's going on in the world of basketball. Bam Adebayo, 83 points last night. Wildly impressive. 83 is 83, no matter who scores it, what game, where, who cares? I like seeing huge numbers like that go pop up. But today, the internet has taken him down. The sports radio world has taken him down. And it's been because Miami was fouling intentionally with the last couple minutes, trying to get more possessions out of it. And I get all that. And it's the free throw merchant conversation. And I get all that. 83 is 83. But where do you fall on this? Because it feels like the world is divided right now, where I'm defending Bam and saying, look, cool is cool, man. And just because we didn't complain about it like crazy when Kobe did it, there were also parts of Kobe's game where he was up by a ton of points with the last 4 minutes. He did take every shot in the fourth quarter. So I don't really know why the hate is going towards Bam that never went to Kobe in this conversation.
Well, I think because Kobe was a fair-haired son by a lot of people. Bam Adebayo, I've always been a fan of his. He's a guy that scores about 18 a game. And I didn't see the game last night. I was at beach volleyball for my oldest granddaughter, and I went to my 7-year-old grandson's ball game last night up in Encinitas. So I was getting these updates on my phone. And again, 83 points is 83 points. But, obviously, I'm not going to say you put an asterisk next to it, but when you're fouling and you got a big lead, that's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. But, what did he shoot? 43 free throws last night?
Yeah, made 36 of them.
Yeah, that tells you how the NBA has gone. I mean, I watch the NBA primarily when the Lakers play. I'm not a big NBA fan, to be honest with you. I love the Lakers. I live and breathe Laker basketball. But at the end of the day, the league has gotten soft. Everything's a review. Anytime you club a guy going to the basket, you got to go over there and look at the monitor. 3 guys got to look at it. I mean, hell, if you did that back in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, it'd be looking like the referees were watching TV for an hour, their favorite TV show over there. It's just a different game. It's a softer game. I don't begrudge Bam Adebayo. I've always liked him. But he's not a guy that's probably ever going to score 50 again, let alone 83.
Coach, Aztecs Mountain West Conference tournament run starts tomorrow. What do you give their chances? Do you think they're currently the second favorite behind Utah State. You think they can kind of pull a rabbit out of this thing?
Well, anything can happen, but, you saw what happened to the girls. I mean, they had a marvelous year. They went over there and laid a royal leg with Air Force ladies. And they're sitting at home, probably not going to get in the NCAA. I mean, J.D. Wicker, the athletic director, better be working every avenue in the world to try to get those ladies in. They finished 25-5, and it looks like they're going to be on the outside looking in. Probably go to the WNIT or one of those lesser tournaments. As far as the guys are concerned, I don't know what to think about this team. This has been an utter disappointment. Magoon Guath, you don't know what you're getting out of him night in, night out. Miles Bird's not a great offensive player. Obviously, he's a good defensive player. He won the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year. B.J. Davis had a career high, so he's going in with a little bit of confidence. Reese Dixon Waters, probably my favorite player on that team. I liked him when he came from SC, and he really played well down the stretch. They got as good a shot as anybody. But, to win 3 games, let alone some teams having to try to win 4 games like UC San Diego, they opened tonight. They got a real good chance. I mean, they got as good a chance as anybody in the Big West, but they're going to have to win 4 games in 4 days. Aztecs can do it. But you know what? They've come up time and time again and let us down this year. They got to pick it up. They got to play together as a team. and they got to stay out of foul trouble, and they got to move that basketball. And let's go over there and let's win this thing and get in the NCAA.
Yeah, the homework tonight for Aztec fans, Colorado State, Fresno State, 6:00 tonight. I think the hope is if you're an Aztec fan, these two teams just beat each other up. And I would also hope that Fresno State somehow pulls the upset, but we'll see. Colorado State's playing some really good ball right now. Coach, appreciate you each and every week. Thank you for jumping on with us once again, and you have an excellent week, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. You asked me about some stuff today. You got me fired up, man. I got to be honest with you. I'm fired up. I'm very upset about this WBC. I got to be honest. And I used to not even care if they had it or not. Now I'm all bent out of shape.
Same. And I can't believe how that unfolded yesterday. But we'll see. Maybe they get lucky here and can go on a bit of a run and make it all up to us. Thank you, Coach.
All right, boys. Keep it up.
San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. We will close this thing out. Coming up next, plus read these texts. We've had some hilarious ones today that we've skipped over. We'll get to them on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Everyone stop what you're doing. Alert the presses. I have a question to ask. Sammy Long, do you love slots?
If I'm winning.
We love slots here on San Diego Sports 760, and San Diego's most generous players club wants to give every new guest over $200 in free gifts. We're talking about to enjoy instantly at Valley View Casino and Hotel, including $10 of free more play, which is free slot play. Over 2,000 machines wall to wall at Valley View Casino and Hotel. When you sign up to join the Players Club, you're going to get $10 to a slot machine, $10 of match play, $20 to the Black and Blue Steakhouse, $10 to Patties and Pints, $10 to the cafe, $10 to Sticks or Snacks, $10 to Sweets and Treats, $10 to the Corner Market, a free collectible t-shirt, and 2 free Maine lobster buffets when you upgrade your player's card from red card to blue card status. That is what I mean when I say Valley View Casino and Hotel has San Diego's most generous players club. You got to see this place. Wall to wall, slot machines everywhere, people winning everywhere. Get out to the Valley View Casino and Hotel today. All those benefits add up to over $200 in free offers the second you sign up for the Players Club, which is always quick, easy, and free. And the more you use your Players Club card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you'll earn, like complimentary dining, free hotel stays. By the way, the hotel is fantastic. Got to tour some of the rooms. You're talking about luxury at its peak. Get on out to the Valley View Casino and Hotel. Don't miss out on the Players Club at the Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for a final time here today. John Schaefer is coming up next. We got a bunch of great texts in during the show today. We didn't get to all of them. I apologize. 858 asking what was long shot. Sammy, maybe pull that up. We'll get to it at the very end of the show. Give a little recap. 619 talking about the movie review I gave a little earlier. War Machine with the guy that played Thad Castle and Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
619 said, I didn't make it past the first 10 minutes of that movie. And I'm glad I stopped watching before Dennis Quaid made an appearance. With him being in the cast, I'm ashamed I even gave the movie a whirl. I'm looking forward to watching. I don't know how to say that word. Nuremberg? Is that a movie that's coming out?
Yeah, it's about the Nuremberg trials.
Okay.
Please learn a little history, Fletch.
I'm sorry. I have no idea what that is. And I do recommend Rooster with Steve Carell. That's from SoCal Jayhawk. I want to watch that show too. It's on HBO.
Oh, that looks good.
With Steve Carell? Yeah, that looks good.
I'm what have I been watching recently? What have you been watching?
I watched War Machine last night.
Well, no,
I've been rewatching Game of Thrones when I have some free time because it's that good. It's just that good. I've been trying to convince Sammy to start Game of Thrones and he won't do it for some reason.
No, I'm trying to. I've been watching The Night Agent on Netflix.
619 saying Sam Darnold also not a needle mover. That from our Kyler Murray conversation.
How is Sam Darnold not a needle mover?
He just won a Super Bowl. 858. Don't ever talk about Derek Carr being on the Saints again, but I did hear he's going to go to the Chiefs for a year or sign with San Francisco when Purdy and Mac die because of the training facility. Thank you, 858. And you didn't finish that text with who dat? I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked.
That's Indy Drew right there.
858. Unless you're a Lakers fan, Bam's performance is probably more legit than Kobe's. Kobe spelled wrong with a Y. LA was also playing a last place team, and Kobe was fed the ball all second half. Only two other players took a shot in the fourth quarter, and up by 15 with 4 minutes to go, Kobe took every shot left and scored 11 more points.
Except Kobe made 28 field goals compared to Bam's 20, and
every Lakers fan today will tell you the Lakers had to come back in that game, and I get that. And Kobe did spring the comeback. But when we're talking about the final minutes of games, both teams made a lot of choices to make sure that that guy was getting propped up.
Bam shot 43 free throws compared to Kobe's 20.
He made 36 of them. I don't know what that's supposed to. How is that supposed to damper anything for me?
Because Kobe did it on the floor, not at the free throw line.
Bam's also a big man. Kobe's not. That doesn't sway me. The free throw argument is the weakest one I've heard today.
I think that's the most valid one because you made your hay at the line, not just because you dominated a game.
So when Shaq would score 30 points because I guess he wasn't really making free throws.
Exactly. It made even more sense.
Yeah.
619 talking about long shots. Sammy hasn't hit since Valentine's Day.
Is that true?
That's not true.
What about the other way?
I think 619.
All right, before we get out of here, we do need to reset long shots for our other
I don't know. Text 70470. Start your message with team with predictions.
And there was some news breaking at the end of the show, and I already forgot what it was. What was it, Sam?
Bradley Chubb going to the Buffalo Bills. Potential up to $52 million, 3-year deal.
I love this from the Bills. Defense was a big problem for the Buffalo Bills last year, and it was wholly all the way through the season. I mean, like Swiss cheese, not like Jesus. So when you look at the Buffalo Bills, they needed to make some additions. Bradley Chubb, it wasn't that long ago, he was one of the best defensive players in the league. If they can get an ounce of that back, this is huge for the Bills. Great pass rusher, can't defend the run. It's a good ad for him, but they probably takes him out of the Max Crosby sweepstakes. All right, long shots, you got it? We got Draper going to beat Novak Djokovic plus 116 on the money line at Indian Wells later. Text line did not like that one. I like it though. That's the thing. You know what I mean? I'm blanking. Oh, Houston Rockets plus 7.5 against the Denver Nuggets tonight. I also like Minnesota plus 1.5 on the road, taking on the Clippers. Little bounce back after last night's loss at the Lake Show. I like it too. John Schaefer is next. Thank you for being here today. It was a fun one. We'll see you tomorrow.